Right, we're back on the tractor again. Had a few days off. Had a bit of a lost my dad yesterday. Unfortunately, he's been living with me for quite a long while. Popped his clogs yesterday. Poor old bugger. Anyway, keep me busy. I'm gonna come and play with the tractor again. So I'm going to do the valve clearances so as I can get the top of this back on. I have been cleaning and painting a few bits, so I've bead blasted and primed, and I've painted the inside of the rocker cover so it goes on. It'll be lovely. Got to give it a little bit of a clean again because it's got a little bit of surface rust here and there, but I'll do that in a minute. But yeah, we just want to get these valve clearances done so as we can start putting this engine, or getting it all sealed up, so as I can paint it. So we'll start off with the rocker gear. I've bolted it on. I'm just doing the valve clearances. I've just done number one. So number one, our inlet is 10 and our exhaust is 12. Or the other way round. No, that's right, yeah. 12 exhaust, 10 inlet. Anyway, that's one. And because the firing order is 1, 3, 4, 2, I'm going to next do number 3, which is that one there. So I've loosened them all off. I'm just going to get that up to TDC where these are rocking, and I shall get that next one done. So we'll just flick him round a bit, and we can see when the valves come up. Nearly there. It feels about it there, roughly. Yeah, so that's TDC on number 3, and I can adjust these valves in it. So what we got? Exhaust and inlet. And there's 10. She's a bit tight at the minute. Feels lovely. Of course, these are all different because I have obviously machined all of the valve seats and all of the valves, so they would have been totally different to what it was when I first did it. But yeah, that's that one nice. And then get that one all nice and nice. Feels pretty good there. Easy job to do if you've got the gear. Just a set of feeler gauges. Funny enough, I didn't have a set of feeler gauges, I'd lost them, so my brother bought me a set, which was very nice. There you go. Lovely and jubbly. Anyway, I'm going to go through the rest of these, get these on, then we can put the cork gasket on and pop the rocker cover back on it. Another step closer, then I can put the thermostat housing on, oil filter housing, oil filler, all that sort of stuff. Mask a few bits up, and then I'm going to go over this whole thing again with a rotary wire brush, or just to make sure it's all the way back, and then pop it in the old spray booth. So there's all the tappets done, which is nice. Next thing, we'll just get that final blow off, and then I'll put a bit of grease on there. I'll find the rocker cover gasket, the cork gasket, and that rocker cover can go on. And that's another step closer. I shall get this is a nice new cork gasket. So I'm just going to whack a little bit of grease on that mating surface around there. I can wipe it off after when I'm on the outside once I'm painting, because paint don't stick very well to grease, you know. But this will help this, well, stop this sticking so much. Let it come off again if anyone needs to take this off. Nice splurge. And I'll do the same with the cover as well. and I might have accidentally just bought another tractor, but I'm not sure yet. I've got to confirm. But yeah, there may be another one turning up. I'll have to get a bigger shed, I suppose. So a bit around here on a nice new shiny painted cover, which is I found the same colour as the Raptor Grey, the new Ford Raptor truck. Have nicked our colour again, as I said before. Dodgy buggers. Anyway, never mind. But it does mean that you can buy the painting 2K, which would be much better. So a bit more hard wearing than the normal paint. Not going to be shy with this grease, eh? You've got to stick it on, Gov. And with these cork gaskets, they can shrink. One of the other ones I did, I had a really old gasket set that come with a tractor. It was like I don't know, it must have been bloody 20-30 years old or something, and that cork gasket had shrunk. So if you do get that, what you can do is just soak it in some warm water, which I did. Just put it in the bloody sink, and it grew. It grew again a little bit. Still need to grow that other arm. Working on it. Anyway, that's nice and on there, like that. Wants to jump out, doesn't it? One of them studs might be a little bit bented, I think. Just going to make sure it's going to sit nice through there. I don't want to lose it underneath, so I might get a little hook and just hook it out a touch before I tighten it up. Right, that's the rocker cover on. Again, I've not done it over tight on these, just pinched it on so it sounds nice when you tap it. Otherwise the gasket will go. So that's that bit done. Next I think I'll sort out the thermostat housing, get that bolted on and put home. Then I've got to rebuild this plate that goes on the back of here. I've got to weld up, which I'll do, and then I'll stick that on. And then we can stick the rest of the ancillaries on, which are all nice and shiny, look. So I've had them in the bead blaster and through the degreaser, and they've come out really nice. So that's got to go, and that's the oil filter housing, and many other bits and bobs kicking around here. So I'll get some more bits bolted on. So I'm just going to get this thermostat housing on. Bit of goop on there. These are so delicate, these bloody things. They're ridiculously delicate considering that the radiator rings on it and all the throttle linkage, but they must know what they're doing. So we'll get that on there nice. Now I've got to nick a thermostat housing off another tractor, because this one's got a bit missing off it, so I won't put that on because that'll be crap, won't it? So I shall steal one off of my keeper for now, and then buy another new one down the track at some stage. I'm quite looking forward to painting this in my booth of the spray, innit? Be the first thing in there, which is nice. I've repaired the cover plate for the back, which had a little wee hole in it, so I've TIG welded that up, so that's now got to be watertight again. So that's my next bit on the back there. And I'm just nicking some nuts and bolts off of a spare engine because some of these, excuse me, were missing. So yeah, I've got that spare engine which came out of an old forklift. I can't tell you how much I got it for. But I think it was good. A very good price. Well worth it. Because I need the exhaust manifold for this, and the inlet. Obviously, it's all one unit. And yeah, various other bits and bobs, which is can go on my tractors, which is nice. That's that on. Right, I mean plate, I've just primed it. I've primed the back of it because yeah, I don't want it to go rusty again. So next thing, I'll wait for that to dry and I'll pop that on. I've got my water pump housing to bolt on. I've just got to find all the bolts, so I'm going to go off and find my bolts. So I found my nice new gasket and all my nuts and bolts. Just going to put a little bit of splodge on there. That'll help hold that gasket on, won't it? Lolly, that is. And there. Here we go. And again, I've painted the housing while it's off. Why wouldn't you, eh? Why wouldn't you, Gav? There we go. Perfect. Ain't got to worry about that side because no water goes through that bit. Now then, a bit of rag. We get some bolts and a little bugger. And all the bolts are very nice and all rusty as fook. I've just given them a little bit of a wire brush up. They've come out lovely, they have. Here we go, right, I need a 9/16 socket now. We'll nip them buggers up and then I'll come back with the rest of it once it's done. I'll put the water pump on itself and where else have we got to go? Oh, then I'll move to the oily bits. So on goes the water pump, and it only goes on one way, so the holes are all different. Starting to look like a tractor again, isn't it? Well, will do. All of this was already off when I bought it, to be fair. All of these bits have been pulled off. There was loads of snap bolts and stuff that I've had to drill out and redo, but such is life with an old tractor, isn't it? There we go. More progress, isn't it? Yeah. Now I think these threads are still all right in here. Hope they are. Because it's pretty old. So once this little fella's on, what have we got? Oil filler and the oil filter housing to put on. But I do need to just give that a clean, so I'll do that quick. Actually, no, that's clean. I just got to clean the bowl of it where the filter fits, so I'll do that in a while. But we'll just nip this up with a 13mm spanner. If I can find the bloody thing, let me go and find that. Found the bugger. I had it over there, didn't I? The reason I had it over there because I've been playing with a dynamo, which I'll probably do a little video on if anyone's got any that aren't working, because they're pretty basic. They're like, it's basically a motor in reverse, isn't it? So the easiest way to test them is stick them on a battery and see if they spin up. And if they do, you sometimes have to kick start them, give them a flick start, but if it runs, that means it should charge. And if you've got charging problems and that does work, that means you've probably got problems somewhere else, like your regulator, which is basically a set of points. I think they work with heat. They get hot, opens, closes to regulate the amount of voltage. But what I will do is put the alternator in the vise, put a battery drill on it, spin it up, and we'll test the voltage that it's kicking out to make sure it is working. But I know it's working because I've had it spinning up as a motor, haven't I? Anywho, I'm just going to go and clean up this oil filter housing and stuff, and then we shall throw that on there. And I do want to polish up part of my oil filler because I bead blasted. It was pretty ropey, it was. Don't know if you can see that. There we go. I want to polish that up again, and then I'm going to try and get some black paint and get it in the, so that'll go in where the writing is for what oil it is, etc. And then clean it off and polish it again. But I'll have a quick go at that as well. Anyway, I'm going to clean up this other bits. So here's our oil filter housing. You can see that I've cleaned it up. And what I might do is mask up that brass plate because I think it looks cool as. So when I paint it, I just paint this bit. Obviously I'm going to mask all the pressure relief side all up and the bottom before that goes on. But yeah, it looks a lot better, doesn't it? And then our filler is, it's a little bit pitted, but that's as good as it's going to get, I reckon. So I'll mask that up so you can still see that. I think that look nice. Anyway, I'm going to put these two little fellas on. I'm going to go and find the gaskets and bits of rummage for nuts and bolts, because this was already stripped down before, or a lot of this was stripped down before I got it. I found a few and cleaned them all up, and I found the gaskets, so I think we'll just start throwing some bits on. I've got to find a couple more bolts. Might have to rob it off of another tractor, but luckily I've got a couple kicking around I can do that on. In fact, there's one outside which is a prime candidate, funny enough, because the engine's poked, so I might go and find the bolt I need off of that and reuse it on this little fella. But so I've got most of them, I think it's just missing one for the oil filler. So I shall go and find one of them in a minute, but I'll just get this on. Now, where are my bolts? There they are. So once I've got this all together, I get my masking tape and mask up these bits I want to keep shiny, and the bits I don't want to keep shiny I won't mask up, and they'll just be painted and primed. But I think it'll look nice, don't you know? The distributor I'll probably keep aluminium because I've cleaned it all up and it's all nice and shiny. But we're nearly there. So once I've got these components on, all I've got to do is mask up the exhaust and inlet holes, put some old spark plugs in it, and give this a degrease and just a clean, get any other loose crap off of it, and then I can finally, eventually, at last, get it in my little spray booth, which would be bloody marvellous, isn't it? Right, I'm going to go and steal a bolt off my other train. So I've got everything on there that I want on there now to paint, before I paint. All I've got to do now is just go over it with a buff disc or something, or just to rough off the rest of the loose stuff. And as soon as that's done, I can mask it, and hopefully in the near future we can fling it in this spray booth and get some colour on this little bad boy. and then I can start assembling the rest of the components. I've got to do the dashboard, I've got to repair that. What else have we got? Many bits to repair still, but to get this bit painted will be a huge achievement in its life, getting it back as it should be. So I'm going to now make noise, so there's no point recording it because it's boring as sanding and grinding and what have you. So I shall turn the camera off and come back next time, and the next time you see this it'll be in a spray booth. So if you want to see that, stay tuned to my channel, innit? Thank you very much.